Hey y'all, gravity. Any day above ground, live it. I hope everyone's doing well today. I hope so. This is gonna be a quick live, very quick, because I gotta get to the plantation. So I'm just gonna try to end this by 12:15. But yeah, I meant to do a video about this, but I said, screw it. We're gonna do a live. We're gonna do it live. You see the thumbnail I got on the screen. You saw the thumbnail when you clicked it. Oh yeah. Dave Rubin, conservative commentator. He's showing his teachers respect. His teachers, who are they? Donald Trump and Larry Elder. Oh, yes. Yes. And you're going to see why. Because he said something egregious and I couldn't ignore it. It got put on my radar. And this is one thing you don't do with me. If I catch you on my radar, you about to get this work. But let's see who's in the building before he gets this work. Blacklight Revelations. Hello. Thank you. Yes, that's right. Smash the like button. Make sure you send it out to your people via text messages so you get here quick. Denise Scales, good morning. Torian Rain, good morning. Very good broadcast you just did. Very good. Very good. You're slipping into the political realm, and I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. Y'all got to see this. But before we start, I want to just get this out the way first.
Fuck yourself. But go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in
Family, I get it. It's politics. I get it. A lot of mudslinging. I get it. What you're not finna do though is do this. You're not gonna call a black woman out her name. You're not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. If you have a disagreement, let's be disagreeable without being violently disagreeable within actions or words. So Brianna Joy Gray. Now, this is in response to what was going on with Hamas and Israel. She said she's great. Now they were talking, I forgot who they were talking about, but she said she's great. Actually, you can do your genocide denial without trying to sick the dogs on Jewish women who simply don't want thousands of innocents to be killed by a right-wing ethno state. Nothing wrong with that. That's her opinion. Nothing wrong with that. SD Johnson, good morning. Nothing wrong with that. Dave Rubin came back and said, hey, the R word, R-E-T-A-R-D, fine, we'll say it. We're allowed to say it on social media again. He said, hey, retard. The Gaza population has 5 times in 50 years. There was no genocide except the one Hamas wishes for. And Israel is the only state in the Mideast that isn't an ethno state. You work with this piece of shit, Robbie Sove. Now, that's her co-host on Rising. I remember when you had a tiny shred of dignity. Now, mind you, remember, I think it was last week or the week before, I played that clip where Robbie got out of his pocket and disrespected her, and she went back on him. But this Dave Rubin thing, it struck a chord with me. And Blacklight, see, there you go. There you go. You know how I feel about that woman. I like her. You're not going to disrespect her. You didn't need to call her a retard. But it got me thinking when this was when I saw this exchange. Dave Rubin need to be the last person talking about some somebody a retard. Why, you ask? I'm going to tell you. Sir, you got con pilled. Yes, we know. I made up a term. Con pilled. That means, you have blue pill, red pill, black pill. He got con pilled. Con pilled means you got wrapped into the conservative ethnosphere and you lost all sense of your faculties. You regurgitate anything you hear a conservative say. You have 13 Thomas Sowell books in your bathroom. And Donald Trump is not only on the wall somewhere in your house, but you have a little picture of him in your car. Like some Spanish people, they have their patron saint in the car that they use to watch over them as they drive down the street. Sir, you got con pilled by Larry Elder. You should be the last person talking about somebody being a retard. Exactly, SD Johnson. You went at Candace Owens for what she said, which was eerily similar to what Brianna said. So I get it. Black women in politics, you are not allowed. Black women in politics, I'm going to say it again. Black women in politics, I'm going to say it again. You are not allowed to talk about Israel and Hamas. Know your place, according to Dave Rubin. That goes for the Coonstress. That goes for Miss Brianna. That goes for you, Sonny Johnson. And I know what's going to happen if he ever asks you. It's going to be it's going to be a Bernie Mac style misunderstanding. Ricky Jones, hello. Matter of fact, would y'all like to see the full exchange? We have the full exchange. We finna look this up. We got the full exchange. I had it, but I closed it by mistake when I was closing some of these tabs. I didn't want my thing to look like Harvey's. Shout out to Harvey. We're gonna find it. Wait, let me see. We're gonna put in genocide. Shit, she might have taken it down. Motherfucker. Damn, I just saw it. And yeah, she also got into it with John Lovitz, which was funny as hell. That was not on my bingo card, but it's all good. Damn, they took it down. Shit. Oof. I had it the other day. Damn it. But anyway, you get the gist of it. They kept going back and forth, and he did not apologize for this. He didn't apologize. Damn, I wish I had kept it. Shit. Sorry, I did a video before this, and I was closing hella tabs. Ooh, I found it. Yes. Yes, I found it. Yes. Let's go, baby.
Let me go here. There's a growing concern.
Again, Brianna found John Lovitz's tweet. This is where it all popped off at, because this Katie Halper was yeah. It was an old thread. Woo. Here we go. Katie Halper came back on Dave Rubin. Now, mind you, she is Jewish. So let's see if he's going to respect her opinion. So after he called Brianna a retard, Katie came back and said reduction of population is not required to fulfill the definition of genocide. He called her a clown. Sabby Sab, shout out to Sabby Sabs. Why are you calling her a retard? Another one. Hey, retard is in the first line of your husband's wedding vows. Jesus Christ. Okay. Wait, we gotta blow this up a little bit for y'all. I want y'all to see these. Jesus. What else we got? Putting your ad hominem arguments aside, and the fact that you're just throwing your convenient opinions around as if you're authority on the matter. We're not gonna go into that. Go ahead. Another pro free speech, anti cancel culture hypocrite coming for someone's job. Are you sure you of all people want to play fast and loose with words like that? What is this? I did not see this. I'm gonna play this so I can get my daughter some veggie chips. Give me a second. Fair use. Will you wait? Give me the time one.
Say, cut the check.
What problem would you, everything you're building here right now, right? Do you want the government to tell you how to do all these things and all the regulations that you got to have your electric thing this far from this and like all
the regulations like that for construction are important though. You do have to make sure that people don't do stupid shit.
But
make sure you
generally,
don't have a power lines near a water line. There's a lot of.
But I would put most of that on the builders, though. They want to build things that are good. Now, I get it.
That's not true. Listen, people
people are going to build
corners all the time. Like you have to have regulations when it comes to construction methods, or people are going to get.
They cut corners when there are regulations anyway.
They do. They would cut a lot more if there weren't regulations.
I'm not totally.
You go to third world countries and look at construction methods; they're fucking dangerous.
Yeah,
that's why schools collapse on kids in foreign countries sometimes. Like,
well, I'm not telling you that I'm against all regulation. Period. That's where I said intellectually I like that argument because you could make it. I think you can make a very sound argument that competition would force people to do better work. Never going to remove the people who will do shoddy, shitty, malicious shit.
But you can keep them at bay with regulation. I think
so. This is where I say you can have some regulation.
Educated regulation. People who actually understand what's going on. And make sure that someone doesn't do something stupid with a power line, or someone do something stupid with the way they constructed main beams, where they're subject to collapse. That's why code exists. It's very important.
Yeah. So I'm not totally with you on that. Like I do think most of it, probably 90% of it would be who has the most vested interest to build a good house. It's the builder because he wants more work. He doesn't want the house to collapse because then he'll be out of work.
I'm telling you.
But I got you though. I get it that
these
it will not always.
Yeah. There's a lot
so
of them
construction may be a specific thing. You know what I mean?
It's a dangerous thing too, because it's where you sleep. It's where your kids sleep. It's
yeah. So this is where I'm not telling you that I'm calling for all this. I just think intellectually it's just an interesting space to argue something, because I think that there's more. The more that you can give to people to freely do what they think is right, I think generally they will. Like again, I get it. There's going to be some real shitty construction people out there.
Well, who gets you in trouble in your opinion, if you're this deregulation guy?
Yeah.
Who goes after you when you dump shit into the river?
So I'm not saying there should be no regulation. I just was saying that I like this. Generally, I like this line of thinking. There has to be some regulation. I agree. You can't. But what I would say is,
that's where the regulation comes in.
Let's put it this way:
the environment.
Yeah, that I would say there has to be some. But
what's the solution if someone pollutes? If you're not going to have regulation, what is the solution if someone does something that's illegal?
So what those guys would argue is what I said before, which is that ultimately, especially now because of technology, like we live in a time now where everyone's walking around with an iPhone, where maybe 50 years ago, you could have got away with a lot of bad shit, right?
I don't think it's good enough to Snapchat about it. I think people should be locked up and go to jail. If they find out that someone's dumping toxic waste into the river because it's too expensive to process it and get it removed and put in some place where it's
what the fuck are they talking about? What are they talking about? Oh, God. What are you talking about?
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
Oh, other people came in the building. I didn't see this. DSB, hello. Mac 25. Yeah, great. Good. You're gonna go to Alabama. They won last night, by the way, so Georgia's a little quiet tonight. But yeah, you have fun with that. May peace be on to you. We move back on to the subject of the show. Anyway, what were they talking about? I don't know. I zoned out after the first 30 seconds. I don't know what they were talking about.
Huh? No.
We move on. That was a waste. And it goes on and on. He got cooked. What is this guy calling someone a retard, saying Rubin report thinking third degree murder? Ooh, y'all got to see this. This was funny. Y'all got to see this.
Basically of third degree murder, because third degree murder, without getting too much into all of the specifics, but you should do a little Googling on your own. In essence, third degree murder is like if you drove your car intentionally
into a crowd of people to kill a lot.
I guess he's never watched like Law and Order. He thinks like third-degree murder is actually first-degree murder. So he thinks that premeditated murder is third-degree murder. Somehow he thinks that third degree is the worst you can possibly do. And that's what, so he's saying that the reason that Derek Chauvin is getting charged with third-degree murder is so the left can have riots in the streets. And he just like completely got it backwards. And he not only said this on his show to his 5 million subs or whatever he has, but he also said this on Newsmax the next day. So he said this for the world to hear on YouTube, and then the next day, I guess no one corrected him, or he just wanted to keep it going, and he goes on to say it again.
Did y'all get that? Did y'all get that? He wanted him. He thinks third degree is first. How is that possible? Ooh. Okay, we're gonna help Dave. We're gonna help him. We'll help him. We'll help him. Whew. Okay. Now, third degree only happens in Florida, Minnesota, and Pennsylvania. We got that. Here you go. So this is murder. Where is it? Hold on. Where is it? Here we go. Someone can be accused of third-degree deletion if they unintentionally cause someone else's death while committing a dangerous act. This is different from first and second-degree murder charges where intent is generally required. I love how these conservatives and these idiots that say that Chauvin didn't do nothing wrong keep forgetting the fact that he was trained in lethal force. He was trained to inflict lethal force. But okay, he didn't kill him. That's what they say. It was the fentanyl. The fentanyl killed him. Okay, great. Got that. Okay, we move on. We move on. Now, you know it's bad when even your own conservative friends come after you. You know it's bad. Did you know that old Brianna talked to Glenn Greenwald the other day? Oh, yeah. You didn't know that, did you? Because I know y'all got other things to worry about. Y'all got other things to worry about. You don't believe me. Cool. We're here about learning, family.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
There's a good looking black woman right there. I'm not being professional. Let me get back on topic. So yes, this is a clip from her interview with Glenn Greenwald. Yeah. Fair use.
I mean, with Dave Rubin, and we did a couple of segments on him on our show, he didn't just become an ally in free speech. He built his whole career, Brianna, on feigning a support for free speech, the virtues of engaging people in debate rather than trying to vilify them or censor them. He has basically said the problem with the West is that We no longer abide by liberalism in the sort of classical sense of that term of allowing free and open debate, but instead impose orthodoxy. So for him to turn around and not just kind of acquiesce to censorship, but to openly cheer it. I mean, the day that France imposed a nationwide ban on all pro-Palestinian protests, even while pro-Israel protests are still completely legitimate. So you can have a protest to support French policy in the Middle East, but not one that opposes it. Dave Rubin said, oh, it looks like there may be hope for the West after all, meaning now suddenly the problem with the West isn't censorship, the salvation for the West is censorship. And we did ask several people on who have been on my show before, whose shows I've been on, including Dave Rubin and others, who I pointed out to them, to me, seemed quite inconsistent when it came to this issue, to come on my show, or for me to come on their show, I don't really care where it's done, and try and understand how they can reconcile these two positions. And unfortunately, I haven't had any takers. There are a lot of people who are very busy, who have a lot of health problems with their family, even though they don't have any problem going on Twitter and cheering for censorship. They apparently are too busy to come on my show and explain why they're doing it. So I'm going to keep pressing the point as much as I can.
Can you walk us through the details of Ron DeSantis' latest? Because
did you get all that? I know it was the white man talking, but did you get all that? Oh, that's a beautiful black woman. Anyway, I'm not being professional. Okay, so he's basically saying that Dave Rubin is arguing for censorship. It's funny they argue for censorship when it's not them being censored, but then when they're being censored, it's a problem. It doesn't gel right. But okay. We're cool with that. We're cool with that. It's funny though, because he said that, right? But we all know most conservatives in this social media space and on TV are hypocrites.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
Oops, David. David, did we forget about this? Fair use.
Have anyone that you've been trying to talk to get into a debate with that has refused them? There's got to be some, but you've done a couple of these, like with Russell Brand, who you had major differences with, and a couple other people. I find it very hard to get these people to talk at this point because we are racist, homophobic bigots.
There's just been this long frustration with realizing that they love to talk about you to garner clicks, but when you say, hey, show up if you're about.
Oh, you mean like when you talked about Christina Applegate and she cleared you on X? Well, yes. I say again, you mean like when you talked about Christina Applegate and she cleared you while sitting in a wheelchair? Like that white girl that cleared you at the airport. DSP, good morning. He said she may be beautiful, but she dumb. Yeah, she could be. She could be. I think I respect the fact that she's talking to conservatives, but I also need her to come down to the street level. I think she would elevate herself and change a lot of her thinking if she came down to the street level and actually talk to somebody that's in the black grassroots. But I know they're trying to keep her close. They're trying to keep her close because they know she's a bucker, and she knows they know if we get her, it's a wrap. But Bunker TV, hello. We got a hate watch in the building. Shout out to the hate watches.
How did it show up? They always say no.
When are you going to debate Sam Cedar on the Majority Report?
Oh, I'm not going to debate Sam Cedar on the Majority Report.
Why not? This is when you first became a conservative. This is about 2 years in. Come on, buddy. You could have went up in there and did that. But all right, you didn't want to do that. But calling someone the R word is right out of Trump's playbook. We know this. We saw the video where he did the motion. We saw all that. He likes to talk about people he think are dumb. That's fine. But you got some nerve, sir. talking about anybody that's not on our side is no good and we shouldn't listen to him. Sir, you got con-pilled by Larry Elder. If that's your end to conservatism, that's a shame. Because it became full circle when you got con-pilled by this man. And then after the second debate, you had him on your show and you basically had him looking like an old grandfather. You're trying to say that the South was never racist. That's how you had it. You don't believe me.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
I have a knack for pausing the video right at points where people look the worst they've ever looked. This interview was 6 years ago. This was the day Dave Rubin likes to equate to the day that he woke up. Even though in other interviews he'd say it was things like working with how he saw the young cucks when he worked for them, how they were acting. Okay. Fair use. Now, Larry Elder is about to talk about systemic racism. Remember, he went in front of Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay and said he understands that racism is alive in this country, but it's not systemic.
Not acknowledge that there are some systemic issues.
Give me an example. Tell me what you think the most systemic racist issue is. What is it?
Well, I would say that because Black people, in many cases, were descendants of slaves, that racism as an institution, that it just a certain amount of it just exists.
2015. Give me the most blatant racist example you can come up with right now.
I think you could probably find evidence that, in general, cops are more willing to shoot if the perpetrator is Black
what's your data
than white.
What's your basis for saying that? Last year,
well, look, I know a lot of people would say, look what's going on in Chicago.
I know what they would say.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what the facts are. 965 people were shot by cops last year and killed. 4% of them were white cops shooting unarmed Blacks. In Chicago in 2011, 21 people were shot and killed by cops. In 2015, there were 7. In Chicago, which is a third Black, a third white, and a third Hispanic, 70% of the homicides are Black on Black. About 40 per month, almost 500 per year last year in Chicago, and 75% of them are unsolved. Where's the Black Lives Matter on that? The idea that a racist white cop and shooting unarmed Black people is a peril to Black people is BS. It's complete and total BS. And the reason for these so-called activists saying this is the assumption that racism remains a major problem in America. The media, CNN, especially MSNBC, runs down whenever a Black cop shoots somebody, and it's some march on Washington. It's ridiculous. Black people, half the homicides in this country are committed by and against Black people. Last year, there were 14,000 homicides. I'm not talking about suicides, I'm talking about homicides. Half of them were Black, 96% of them Black on Black of that 7,000. Where's the Black Lives Matter people on that?
So there's where you would say that this is purely because of social justice. This is purely because they want ultimately for people to be angry enough to just keep voting Democrat.
That's right. And where's the evidence of the lack of social justice? When a Black suspect is killed by a cop, believe me, the media is on it. People are watching it, and justice will, for the most part, occur.
That there is a problem.
Larry, get the fuck out of here! Like that's.
Justice will occur? Huh? This was 2017, family. 2017. Tamir Rice still didn't get justice at that point. They were still trying to get Jason Van Dyke up in Chicago up on charges at that point. I think that was the same time when they just dropped the video. I could be wrong. Sandra Bland was still fresh. They were still arguing online if she hung herself. Justice for the most part will be done. We can't even go into a police station and file a complaint. But you got it. You're right, Larry. You're right.
Baltimore, where Freddie Gray was killed.
There we go. Baltimore.
Freddie Gray died in a van. I shouldn't say was killed. Died in a van. Yeah. You have a city that's 45% black. City council is 100% Democrat. The majority of city council is black. The top cop at the time was
Barry. We went over this when you went in front of Rachel Lindsay and them. They are puppets. Black people do not run Baltimore. Again, black people do not run Baltimore. But okay.
was black. The number 2
I guess you're not going to mention that even though Mayor Adams is a black man, most of the city council is diverse, but you're not going to bring that up. Cool.
cop is black. The majority of the command staff is black. The mayor is black. The AG is black. And yet here we are talking about racism. I mean, it's absurd.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
So it's funny. I find myself caught in between this a little bit as a liberal, where I want to always try to.
And like I said, 6 years later, he said he understands racism exists, but it's not systemic.
Defend the other. So in this case, the other being black people, I'm always sympathetic to that. And that, yeah, at the same time, I hear you laying out a pretty solid.
Well, these are just the facts. I'll tell you something else too. There was just a study, University of Washington, and it turns out cops were more reluctant, more hesitant to pull the trigger against a black suspect than a white suspect.
No shit.
Probably because of the fear of being accused of racially profiling and the fear that the civil rights establishment was going to come down on him. So, if anything, whites are more likely to be shot by a cop under certain circumstances than a black person. And in the last 30, 40 years,
Oh, you lying little bastard, you. We have seen various videos of the cops with all that restraint when they're white or Asian backing up. Why they don't do that for black folks? SD Johnson, you brought up something. I like the fact you brought that up. I'm gonna put his comment on the screen. Torian said, funny how Larry brings up PC people being shot by cops. Yeah, he has no organization put a halt to that issue. He can't even get an organization started to stop fatherlessness. Whoo, but we're gonna put SD Johnson's thing back on there because it's funny that he brought up Trayvon.
You know, let me go here. There's a growing concern in.
Who remembers this little ditty that he did in front of Pierce Morgan after the trial? Well, I'm sorry, during the trial when Rachel Jeantel got up to speak and explain how she was the witness of what happened. Fair use.
Do you think that Rachel Jeantel is stupid?
I think that I would rather have a George Zimmerman living in my neighborhood, and maybe if George Zimmerman were living in my neighborhood, we'd have fewer Oreo Castros. I thought we wanted people.
Well, damn. I mean, he just went out the gate running. Didn't he? They shot the starter's pistol, and he just said, I'm going to show you how quick I am to coon. Say it again.
Question. Do you think that Rachel Jeantel is stupid?
I think that I would rather have a George Zimmerman living in my neighborhood, and maybe if George Zimmerman were living in my neighborhood, we'd have fewer Oreo Castros. I thought we wanted people to be proactive.
That wasn't the question, Larry.
I know, I'm answering something different.
Even the supremacist Piers Morgan had to say, that's not what I asked you. He's this pissed. He's pissed. Continue.
Could you just answer my question?
Zimmerman like he's some sort of criminal. He's not a criminal. He's
George
a guy
Zimmerman
about his
shot dead an unarmed teenager.
He's a neighborhood watch guy. Don't you want people who are proactive? And there was crime in that neighborhood, Pierce. I live in South Central.
There wasn't crime.
Sir, this happened in Florida, not South Central. This happened in Florida, not South Central. He followed that kid. The cops told him, leave him alone. We got this. He wanted to play hero. And he got his ass kicked. And he was embarrassed. And he whipped out the burner and took that boy out. and he got off because he was in Florida. But Larry, you're defending this? We're not shocked.
There wasn't crime from Trayvon Martin in that neighborhood.
The burglar bars are not on there because of George Zimmerman. They're on there because of the minority of thug in the community that's messing up everybody's image and reputation. This is why people profile. Instead of being angry at George.
This is why people profile. Do you hear this? But Larry, you're the same one that said there's no systemic racism. Dave Rubin learned well.
Not on there. The burglar bars are not on there because of George Zimmerman. They're on there because of the minority of thug in the community that's messing up everybody's image and reputation. This is why people profile. Instead of being angry at George Zimmerman, be angry at the minority of the thug who's committing these kinds of crimes.
Okay, if I could jump in again. So just to clarify, though, Trayvon Martin wasn't committing crime.
It was an unfortunate incident. Two people had preconceived notions about each other. It never should have been happened. Doesn't make George Zimmerman a criminal. I used to work in the DA's office, Pierce. I'm telling you, it was a dog case, a reasonable doubt case. Nobody I know would have filed the case.
Yeah, well, we disagree, obviously, about that. I think it's completely wrong.
Obviously.
That George Zimmerman should get no punishment at all for killing an unarmed teenager.
He's got serious punishment. He can't go anywhere. Are you kidding? He's a marked man.
Well,
he's going to be sued civilly. He will never have a moment of peace. He killed somebody. Morally.
I haven't heard his name in months. Sounds like he's at peace being out of the public limelight. Trayvon's family still doesn't have peace because their son is not there. Their cousin's not there. Their friend is not there. But George Zimmerman gets to keep breathing air. Yeah, Larry. Okay.
He's got to deal with that, Pierce. He recognizes that. He's not in
Larry, if I may respond.
What he did.
I may respond. Sure. You know, some people would say that he's got it easy compared to Trayvon Martin, who he killed. So much as people feel sorry for George Zimmerman not being able to lead the life perhaps he wished he could, at least he can lead. At least he can lead a life. At least he can lead a life.
Nice to have had a George Zimmerman in Cleveland and maybe already.
I don't want George Zimmerman doing my neighborhood watch patrol. No, I don't. I don't. I've got 3 teenage sons, Larry. I don't.
How do you equate what that asshole did, holding them girls in his house for years, to what Zimmerman did? How do you even equate the two?
Feel comfortable having somebody like George Zimmerman marching around as some wannabe vigilante, armed with a gun, potentially killing my kids as they come home from a store with a bag of Skittles and a can of soda. No.
Remember, I just wanted y'all to play that because that, you know, that's where Dave Rubin learned from. This is the tree he learned from. But it's funny because he never said anything about Trayvon. And he was a liberal at this point. So he had more than an incentive to say something. He never said anything about Trayvon. I guess by the Most High, good morning. He said, this video showing a police captain getting deleted by a criminal he handled gently who happened to look like him. That definitely is white on white crime. Larry's delusional. He's not delusional. He's being willfully ignorant. Torian said, then again, Larry does not have any children, let alone sons, so he would never understand. Yet he want to cry and complain about fatherlessness every chance he gets. Fatherless every time he gets. He always does that. Humble Hummingbird 84. Hello. You seem new, but welcome. Yes, it is crazy. It is crazy. This is where these conservatives, this is the bosom they hide in. This is the bosom of elder. But it's like I've always said, family. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But hey, Larry Elder has a lot of kids running around. A lot of cheering running around. But again, like I said, family, I didn't want to belabor this too long because again, this was supposed to be a video, but I said let's just do it live. Now, the next year is going to be interesting. Very interesting. Everybody's still trying to get us to come in. We all watching out, everybody outside looking like the purge. We got our power tools ready. We just watching them and like, which one of y'all gonna hit that gate and which one of y'all gonna be the brave one to come up them steps. We will blast you through the door. Leave us alone. They're like, why aren't you coming in? You guys, if you guys say something, this is what they really want to tell us. If you guys say something, a lot of things will move.
It was hard work, and I worked hard. My ass bleeds for you.
We don't care. We told y'all, we stand with Black America here. We got our own problems. Just like y'all have your own problems, we got our own problems. If y'all don't want to cater to our needs, cool. Cool. We tell you all the time, we just want equal rights all across the board. Give us the things that you give everybody else. We will succeed here. And everybody will be better for it. They come with the bootstrap talk.
It was hard work, and I worked hard. My ass bleeds for you.
They tell us it's so hard, to keep up this grift.
It was hard work, and I worked hard. My ass bleeds for you.
They tell us they can't do no type of legislation for us because you can't do race-based. And do you see how hard it was to get the AAPI $50 million almost and a hate crime task force because some white boy deleted 8 Asians?
It was hard work, and I worked hard. My ass bleeds for you.
They blame us on Twitter all day. They bring our names up on things we don't even have any control over. You're not bringing out your support for Israel or Hamas. And we're putting our lives and our careers on the line to talk about this. Yeah, what happened to old girl when she said pro-Palestine stuff? What happened? We're putting our careers and our livelihoods on the line to stump, and y'all are being quiet.
It was hard work, and I worked hard. My ass bleeds for you.
We on that type of time. We don't care. Okay? Every time y'all sit up here and start fighting over stupid things, you don't get no traction until you put the words black people or blacks in your caption. Then you get engagement.
It was hard work, and I worked hard. My ass bleeds for you.
We don't care anymore. Now screw off and leave us alone.
Want to do? If you is afraid to be talked about, you're
in trouble.
Come on with it.
That's amazing.
I'm leaving now, family. I got to get ready to go to work. I appreciate y'all coming up in here. We're going to have fun. We had fun. Hopefully you learned something. If I taught you anything and you got something out of this, I've done my job. If not, I will try to be better next time. And that will happen tomorrow when we do talks. We're going to review that DeSantis Newsom debate. We're going to do that for you. And I have a video coming up. I'm still deciding if I should do it tomorrow or Tuesday. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll give you a little appetizer. I got a video coming. It's on a subject that I really don't talk about here, but yeah, I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it. So I'm gonna get ready. I hope y'all have an enjoyable rest of your day. Check out Torian. He's about to go live on this Dom Lucre. Lisa Cabrera is about to go live in 30 minutes. I just saw it. And the climb to 3,000 continues. Again, thank you all for entrusting me with knowledge and giving you the knowledge. And thank you. Oh, and before I go, thank you to Humble Hummingbird for 199 super sticker. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your day.
It was hard work, and I worked hard. My ass bleeds for you.